Regardless of where you are in your fitness journey, whether you're starting now to lose weight, to gain muscle, to do a little bit of both, everybody knows the feeling of being sore. And if you're new, that is something that's very, very new for you, and it's something that you're going to be experiencing for a long time. But I'm going to be trying to teach you some practical ways to get over it. There's one thing that I do need to get out of the way in the beginning because I'm a fitness autist. If you don't know me, I'm Brandon Maloney. I've been training for roughly 4 or 5 years. I'm primarily a calisthenics athlete. I'm going to transition into powerlifting very shortly. And I did years of bodybuilding and like kind of power building, whatever you want to call that, which is kind of like bodybuilding, but you're more focused on strength and muscles. I need to get like this next thing out because most people click off past this point, and I just want to give you probably the best piece of advice just straight up. So if you want to listen to me, you can. If you don't want to listen to this part and you want to like mask away the pain I'm about to give you, please just skip a little bit forward. Here's why you should not be taking pain medications like ibuprofen, Advil, those types of things, like anti-inflammatory stuff that's going to take away the sore, like little pills. The reason is because the soreness in your muscles is caused by one, muscle damage, but two, like a inflammatory response. Your muscles basically fill up with this icky sticky substance called lactic acid, and that basically, if you want to think about it as on like a super simple scale, it's like a liquid goes into your muscles, it covers up all of the holes, it kind of like patches it over, and then like once it gets patched over, it heals. That's not at all how that works scientifically, but that's so how you can like visualize it in your head. The thing is, when you take this, especially within the first 4 hours of the workout, it has been shown to drastically reduce muscle growth, muscle strength. Not so much strength as much because strength is mostly CNS adaptations, which is essentially how good your brain is at sending signals to your muscles to activate, essentially. And it doesn't really affect strength super bigly, super largely. I said bigly, geez. English is my first language. It doesn't affect strength massively, but it does affect muscle growth significantly. And if that is something that you're super interested in because you're going to the gym, you're training very hard, you're getting sore, you're doing the best that you can. If you're not getting the result from that, obviously that sucks and we don't want that. You can use it sometimes if the soreness is like really, really bad. After like 24-ish hours is usually safe. After that 4 hour period, especially, is kind of like when you're going to get the most kind of results because that first 4 hours is mostly important just to get that initial wave of lactic acid and to get that initial wave of inflammation, which is actually good. You want that inflammation because that inflammation is going to lead to recovery. Everybody tries to reduce inflammation when that's not actually what you want to do. You want to leave it, and if it becomes too much, that's when you have to manage it. But a little bit just being sore in most cases is actually a good thing because that means you're growing if you did all the previously required stimulus. What else? Again, good for short term use. Another thing, if you are experiencing constant, consistent pain, that could be an injury. Go see a doctor. Nobody wants to, especially in the beginning, because they're like, I just started lifting. I didn't hurt myself already. I'm using the fives for bicep curls. Just go to the doctor. It's not worth it. You're not at the level to where you can look up on YouTube or like look up random videos and have people explain it to you. You need to go see a doctor. There are some injuries once you get more advanced, you can kind of heal by yourselves, but at this level, just go see a doctor. Don't make the mistakes. I've injured myself probably in three major ways, two major ways over this past 5 years to where like I couldn't train and it's not worth it. And most of them were injuries that I acquired from the beginning. The second one was a wrestling injury. I was wrestling, my shoulder went super far over my head and I partially tore it, but that's besides the point. That's why you shouldn't use pain medication. I have 3 lessons here that are going to be like kind of mindset boosts that are going to help you in that regard. First thing I want you to do, I want you to see it as progress. You have this thing called MRV, which is your maximal recoverable volume. Let's say you're training legs twice a week. Let's do something more simple. Let's say you're training arms twice a week. You're training your biceps. Monday, you've heard online that 10 sets is optimal, like per workout, or 6 sets or whatever it is now. Let's say in between like 6 and 10 sets, let's say you do 8 sets for that workout. You do 8 sets, hard sets. You're like grueling. You go really hard. You're super sore the next few days. Let's say you do that Monday. Thursday rolls around and you're still sore. You're supposed to do arms, but you're too sore to use any weights that are kind of meaningful towards you. You normally use the 15s, but now you're using like the 7.5s, the 10s, whatever. You're not able to do as many reps as you want to. The workout is kind of going bad. You do another 6 sets or do another 8 sets. Sorry. You do the same workout, basically, just a lot lighter, just a lot easier. Now you're extra sore for the Monday session. What gives? You have this thing called MRV, which is how much you can recover from given a specific amount of sets that you do at a specific intensity. So you can do more sets if you go lighter, you can do less sets if you go harder. To keep it general, let's say you do 8 sets Monday, 8 sets Thursday. You were sore for both sessions. That means that you did too much. If you catch yourself being overly sore session by session because of the amount of sets that you're doing, what that means is you need to lower it. So let's say you lower it down to 5, be super conservative, maybe even 4 if you're super sore. Lower it down to 4. Monday you go in, you train biceps. You're sore Tuesday, maybe a little bit sore Wednesday. Thursday, you feel completely fine. Do another 4. You feel good, you do those 4. Friday rolls around, you're a little bit sore. Saturday rolls around, you're a little bit sore. Sunday, you're not really sore at all. Maybe a little bit if like you move in a specific way, whatever. You get like your arm far behind your back because your bicep contributes to that. Monday, you're completely fine. You can either stick with that amount of volume or you can ramp it up by 1 set and do 6 sets on Monday, for example. Still, or 5 sets on Monday, whatever I said before. 5 sets on Monday, 4 sets on Thursday. Let's say that's 1 set more total for the week. I forgot what I had said before. Now you're a little bit sore for that Thursday session. Now you know that's probably a little bit too much. On that Thursday session, though, you know that you get that extra day of recovery. So maybe you do a little bit more. Maybe you go a little bit further to failure. You see what I mean? You find that range of where you can recover from. And if you get to that range, you know you're doing the absolute maximum that you can do because that's the max your body allows you to do. You can optimize this by sleeping more. Everybody knows these things. Sleeping more, having a better diet, just basic stuff, chilling out more, not doing too much, not being like extra strenuous in the area, all of that type of stuff. You know this. There's tons and tons of videos of guys much smarter than me explaining it, and I don't have all the time to explain every single concept to you in this video because it's like years of stuff that would be piled in my brain, and I do all of that for the people inside of my paid program. Second link in the description. What else? I want to kind of stick on this for a second. You need to be able to see this as progress. If you are too sore, if you're getting sore, let's say you train twice a week, Monday, Thursday, let's say you're consistently sore both sessions and you have to pull back anyway because you know you're not going to be training to your full potential if you're sore and you're hurting and all these things. That just means you're doing more than you have to. Now, when you go back, it's going to feel a lot better. You're not going to be as sore. You're going to be making more progress because if you're super sore when you train, you're not going to be able to get the best stimulus. Because if you think about it, obviously you have to break, like you have to hit the house with the wrecking ball in order to build a new house. But if you hit the house with the wrecking ball or with a sledgehammer or whatever, you start fixing up the walls and then you hit it again. You're not really doing much. You're kind of just hitting the house over and over. You need to be able to build, 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 build. Oh, you made a mistake, whatever. Hit that part with the hammer. Make sure that there's still urgency for your body to keep building and keep making it stronger, keep reinforcing it. A storm comes, whatever you want the analogy to be. Storm comes, hit the house, you upgrade it, whatever. You need to let your body know that this is something that you grow from. If you do too much, then you're not going to grow from it. Then you are going to reduce because too much soreness is bad. It can also lead to like you getting injured and things, and there's just nothing really good comes from being too sore. Now it's okay to train sore sometimes, but you never really want to go super intense with that. It depends on the split and who you're working with, and obviously if you have a very qualified coach who knows what he's doing, that's a completely different ball game, and you'd have to discuss that with him or her or whatever. But general rule, go a little bit lighter when you're sore. Don't do as much volume. Don't go as heavy. Train a little bit lighter so If you are sore, instead of doing sets of 15 to 20, do 20 to 30. 15 to 20 might even be fine. But if you're used to like sets of 6 to 8, for example, and you're super sore one day, doing sets of 20 or 25 or 30 would be completely fine. Next thing, this has helped me a lot, especially when I first started out. Think about what doesn't hurt. Yes, your arms are killing you. Yes, your legs are killing you. Oh my God, the pain is unbearable. I can't do this anymore. Think about what doesn't hurt. Your feet are fine. Your shin muscles are fine. Your hands, they feel a little bit stiff, but mostly they're fine. You're grateful for those not hurting. Think about what isn't sucking right now, because the thing is, there's been numerous studies, and I've seen this and I've experienced this myself. You can't really feel negative emotions at the same time as being grateful. The studies have been done on anxiety and gratitude, the part of your brain that is responsible for feeling anxiety also is responsible for feeling gratitude. So if you feel gratitude, then you're not going to feel anxious. That's just literally how it works. It's quite literally that simple, but it's not that simple. There's a ton of mechanisms and stuff, or whatever you want to call it. But at the end of the day, that's essentially how that functions. If you think about what doesn't hurt, if you focus on what doesn't hurt, and you're not sat there thinking, oh, I'm focusing on what doesn't hurt, so why does it still hurt? It's still going to hurt. But the point is, you want to get your mind and your mindset to a point to where you're not focused on the negative part. You're focused on the good part, because that's just a general good thing to have for your life anyway. You're going to the gym. You don't want to be thinking, oh, this is really going to suck. You want to be thinking, oh, I'm going to feel really good after, and I'm going to be healthier, and I'm probably going to have a little bit more muscle. And Nancy at work is going to look at me and, oh my God, life is so good right now. That's what you want to be focused on. If you're just focusing on the suck, you're not going to continue with it. So keep that in mind. Next thing, you're delaying gratification actively when you do this. What does that mean? You're doing the hard work right now when you don't feel like doing it, when it doesn't particularly feel nice, in order to feel gratified later, in order to look in the mirror and see your bicep and see your physique and see how much gains you have made, to look at your health markers. Maybe you started exercising because you had poor blood work and your doctor said there needs to be a change, and maybe you felt inspired by your children or your family or your loved ones or whatever, maybe even just for yourself. Maybe you're exercising just for the sake of you're a younger guy and you want to improve your life because that's really the only thing right now that you quite literally enjoy and you can feel purpose in. All of these things are reasons, and you're delaying the gratification to get the result that you want. You're not going to instantly get better blood work. You're not going to instantly get more jacked and leaner, and you're not going to instantaneously have more muscle, and you're not going to instantaneously feel purposeful and be able to go up to Nancy and be like, hey, girl, and her pepper spray you. You have to wait for all that. You have to be patient. And it can really suck sometimes, especially when you don't want to go, especially when you're not seeing results 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, month 2, month 3, month 4, month 5, a little bit of results though. And around that 6 month period is around the time you'll notice small changes before then. But that 6 month period, everything done right, is around the time where you will see pretty big results. You're not going to have a six pack probably if you started off super heavy. You're not going to be super jacked if you started off super skinny, but you'll be a little bit leaner. You'll see a little bit more of a gap like in your arm, right? If you were skinny and you had abs before, maybe your abs will be a little bit bigger. Maybe your arms will be a little bit bigger. Maybe your shirts will be a little bit tighter. Around that time is when you're going to start seeing changes. Sometimes the gym will suck. Sometimes you love it, but sometimes it just sucks. The soreness sucks. That's part of it. I told you in the beginning you can't be taking anti-inflammatories and all that kind of stuff because it's just going to reduce the results that you get. You can, especially after that 4 hour period, but are you really going to reduce your results by like 20 to 40% just to not feel sore for an extra day? Come on. You can do better than that. The feeling weak after training sucks. But the thing is, like I keep saying, the result that you get is good. And you shouldn't necessarily be doing it for the result. Because if you're doing it for the result, that's when you hyper optimize. That's when you start hating training and all that kind of stuff. You want the result, yeah, you have a goal in mind. But the point of the training should be to do it in a way that's healthy and that a way that you enjoy. And that will also get you to the result that you want. I'm a calisthenics athlete at this period. I'm probably going to be switching from sport to sport at some point. I'm not entirely sure where my journey takes. I'm learning like cool skills like planche and front lever, and I could do like really explosive muscle ups, all that type of stuff. That's mostly what this channel is about. If you're interested in any of that, hopefully some of my guides help. Also, I have a free community, first link in the description. If you're looking for a community and any of that, whatever. But I train basically like a professional athlete, and I've had to ramp that up to a level to where I enjoy that type of training. If I were to train like this, 2 sessions a day, training like 2, 3 hours a session, like I would be dead as a beginner. The thing is, you need to progressively overload up to that point. You need to start off small and gradually ramp up and ramp up and ramp up and ramp up, and then you get super tired. Then you go back down. Then you ramp up and ramp up and ramp up and ramp up and ramp up, and then you get tired, and then you go down. But over the course of a couple months, over the course of a couple years, a couple decades, you started here. In the short term, over the course of a couple of months, it looks like this. You're just kind of like flowing up and down. But over the course of a few years, you started here, you flow, but you actually ended up here. And then over the course of a couple decades, couple more years, you're up here. That's how you increase your work capacity, essentially. That's how you increase the amount that you can do. That's how you increase the volume that you can handle. That's how you increase your enjoyment with it. The more that you do, the better you get, the more you're going to have to take it seriously. But if you have that drive to improve, you're always going to want to do the more serious thing. That has been everything. My name's been Brandon. Keep doing the best of doing your best. I have 2 communities, link in description. Second one is coaching and calisthenic courses. First one is completely free, and by the time you see this, probably, I will have a creative mode protocol released. It's for anyone, or guys specifically, mostly young guys, going from 0 to 15 pull-ups and then added weighting, or adding weighted as well, so getting to 30% of their body weight for roughly 8 reps. Same thing with dips, going from 0 to 20 dips and then getting to 50% of their body weight for 10 reps on dips, and then also learning their first muscle up and first handstand push up. That has been everything. My name's been Brandon. Keep doing the best of doing your best. Trust God. Signing off.